Good to have you back. Before we begin, take one breath and settle. UPSC Sociology Optional is a marathon of small daily decisions, and the fact that you are still here doing this daily work is itself the sign of a serious candidate. Today, we are going to take one live event, the notice that the Government of India has sent to WhatsApp, and show you how the candidate who can sync this event to the right concept and the right thinker walks away with several extra marks in paper 1. This is issue 44 of the Sociology desk. One event, one long answer, and one examiner conversation. Let us begin. Here is the event. On the 1st of July, the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, the MeitY, sent a formal notice to Meta directing it to pause the rollout of the WhatsApp usernames feature in India. Similar notices went to Telegram, Signal, and Airtel. Zoho voluntarily withdrew the feature to comply. In plain language, the government is telling private platforms that they cannot let users hide behind chosen usernames instead of phone numbers, at least not before consultations with the government. On the syllabus, this event sits inside Paper 1, Politics and Society, subunit on Sociological Theories of Power. Notice, we are not writing about privacy or cybercrime. We are writing about the state. That is the shift a top ranker makes. Now the concept. Governmentality. This is a Foucauldian term, and you need to be precise. Governmentality is not simply government. It is the way modern states rule populations, not only by writing laws that forbid, but by shaping conduct through the routing of visibility and traceability. Think of it like this. When the state can see you, count you, contact you through your phone number, you are legible. You are a traceable subject. The moment the phone number stops being the primary way you appear on WhatsApp, the state loses its anchor. Notice, the government is not banning WhatsApp. It is asking to be consulted before a feature launches. That is governmentality speaking. The state re-emerges not as sovereign, prohibiting things, but as a designer, calibrating what technology is allowed to do. Now you may be wondering how to bring this into a 20 marker. Here is how. You do not write, quote, WhatsApp announced usernames. You write, quote, the state converted a product feature into a governmental object. The thinker is Michel Foucault. The specific concept is governmentality, developed most fully in his lecture series titled Security, Territory, Population. Here is the formulation you can use in a written answer. As Foucault argued in Security, Territory, Population, the essential problem of modern government is not the frontier of the sovereign's law, but the conduct of populations through calibrated visibility. That single sentence, attributed accurately, is worth at least 2 marks in a 20 marker, if it is deployed in the right place. And the right place is right after you have introduced the WhatsApp event. Empirical event, then Foucault. The event is your evidence. The theory is your destination. You need a second thinker, and the most powerful choice here is Jürgen Habermas. His concept is the colonization of the life world. What does this mean? For Habermas, the life world is the domain of ordinary communication between people. When we speak to a friend, a family member, a colleague, we are inside the life world. The system, that is, the administrative and economic machinery of the state and the market, sometimes penetrates that life world and reshapes it according to strategic imperatives. That is what is happening here. The security traceability logic of the state is being written directly into the architecture of the app you use to talk to your parents and your friends. The public sphere is not silenced. It is redesigned at the code layer. If you can pair Foucault with Habermas in the same answer, you are showing the examiner exactly the theoretical range that separates the top scripts from the average scripts. Now, put on the examiner's hat with me for a moment. I am reading 2 scripts. Both candidates have picked this WhatsApp question. Script A opens with, quote, WhatsApp is a messaging app used by many Indians. It defines privacy, then narrates the MeitY notice for a paragraph. and closes with the line, quote, "This is a serious issue." That script will get around 14 out of 20. Correct, informed, but sociologically thin. Script B opens with, quote, "State attempts to regulate the identity architecture of a private platform mark the arrival of governmentality as the dominant mode of Indian state action on digital society." Then it names Foucault with the correct concept, uses the event in one or two sentences as evidence, not narration, brings in Habermas as the counter register, notes the Internet Freedom Foundation critique that the notice lacks statutory basis, and closes by saying that in a network society, the sovereign no longer only writes law, it edits code. That script gets an 18 or a 19. The exact moves that lifted the score are these. Open with a structural claim, not a definition. Name the concept precisely. Attribute the thinker to the correct work. Use the event as evidence, not as the subject. Add a counterthinker or a critique. Close with a forward-looking synthesis. Remember, the current event is your evidence. The theory is your destination. One probable question, stated simply. In light of the recent regulatory freeze on messaging platform anonymity features in India, critically examine Foucault's concept of governmentality as a framework for understanding state power in digital society. Notice the verb, critically examine. That means you must explain the concept and then evaluate it. Do not just narrate the event. Answer this by first framing governmentality, then applying it to the notice, then bringing in a counter perspective, and finally, closing with a synthesis that recognizes code as a form of law. Let us tighten this into a revision cassette you can play in your head tomorrow morning. Event. The government has told WhatsApp, Telegram, Signal, and Aratai to freeze the username feature. Concept. Governmentality. The calibration of populations through visibility and traceability. Thinker. Michel Foucault. Security, territory, population. Counterthinker. Jürgen Habermas. The colonization of the life world by administrative reason. Synthesis line for your answer. In the network society, the sovereign no longer only writes law, it edits code. 5 bullets, 1 full mark answer. That is the concept for today. Sociology Optional is not lost on a single hard day. It is won by the candidate who keeps showing up when nothing feels new. Every quiet, ordinary evening of work is the invisible reason why one script eventually reads sharper than another in the examiner's hand. If you want the full answer block, the model answer, the answer skeleton, the quotation arsenal, and the examiner notes that we prepare daily, drop your email in the comments or write to us at team@upscdesk.com and the team will share the subscription details with you. Take care of your sleep tonight, and I will meet you here tomorrow.